Welcome back, guys. Well, we're back at it again. Well, not we're back at it. I'm back at it again, fixing the BA bits to go onto the work ute that they bent up. Um, Last weekend we got the front fenders and the bonnet into primer. The fenders have all been blocked back, and today I've just started this morning on blocking back the bonnet, getting it ready to go for a coat of sealer. Now, the bonnet was new and the right front fender was new, so I didn't really need any work. Although when you put the primer on and you start blocking it back, you can see that the Taiwanese stampings are, let's say, ordinary. They're not as smooth as they could be. So 2 coats of high fill will get that pretty much good enough to put paint on. We're not going crazy. We just want it to look shiny and look straight. It is going to be black, so it's not going to look great, but it'll look better than it was with the can opener up the side of it. So I'm going to get in and we'll show you where we've done on this side, and then we'll just keep going and we'll be ready for sealer. So if you look up through the middle, you can see like the texture. We've given it a light scuff with the paper, 240, and you can see it's like lizard skin, snake skin, whatever you'd like to call it. So that's just the primer going on really thick. It didn't go on nice and smooth, but it's just a really thick high build primer. And then blemishes like here, probably a little hang or a little run where the panel changed transition. And then there's other things like the entire stamping of the bonnet, like where the edges go over. It's got an edge the whole way along it, so when you sand to the edge, it actually shows up all of those as well. But all in all, that should get us out of trouble and have it looking presentable again. So that's just a air dry acrylic rattle can that we sprayed over the top of there in a flat black. Again, like I said last time, it does clog the paper up more than dry guide coat does, but I don't have any dry guide coat, but I've got the aerosol. So, all right, I'm going to get another fresh piece of paper and the block, and we'll get back into it. Okay, so we've got all the panels wiped down. They've been wiped down with prep wash and they're drying and been blown off. The booth's ready. We're going to go with a coat of the Genflex plastic primer over the bumper and the grille. That's got to flash off for about 10 minutes. Once it's been on for 10 minutes and no longer, then we're going to go with the Protect Multi Prime, thinned out 30% with thinners. So that'll make it a wet on wet sealer. That has to be top coated within 45 minutes. So then we're going to go with 2 coats of 2-pack black, straight black. The third coat, we're going to mix in about 1/3 of a cup of clear into the black and lay that down, and then put a final coat of clear, 1 or 2 coats on the top of it. Don't have to go clear over the black, but I don't know. I just want it on there so I can block it back and give it a buff. All right, so we're going to get this stuff mixed up and hopefully not run out of time and stuff it up. So, okay, so the General or Genrock 8350 plastic primer goes on straight. You don't have to thin it, you don't have to harden it, nothing. So that's in the gun ready to go. Supposed to spray it at about 7 bar through a 1.4 to 1.6 millimeter tip on a HVLP gun. The primer is all mixed up, or the sealer, sorry, is all mixed up, reduced to 30% with the thinners. So we're going to get that on, and give it 10 minutes to flash off, and then we'll go through and seal everything in the booth. And then we've got about 45 minutes to clean the gun, clean everything up, and then we'll get the black color coat ready. So here we go. Right, so the plastic primer's been on for 11 minutes now. So we've got the sealer mixed up, that's in the gun, we've washed it all out, and we're ready to duck in and put the sealer coats on. So we'll see what it looks like after one. We might put two, so we'll go from there. Okay, so we're at our 45-minute window to get the paint on over the sealer. And compared to the primer, this is laid down really nice, really smooth. Little to no orange peel for now. We'll see what happens when the color goes on. And that was at 23 and a half, 24 PSI on the gun. We're not going to get the front bumper painted today. We'll get the guards, the bonnet and the grille, but the plastic adhesion primer on the bumper, I didn't realize it puddled in the grooves, and as soon as the sealer went on, it's run, so it never flashed off. That'll be fine though, so we'll let that sit over the weekend. Maybe tomorrow I'll get in and give it a bit of a rub down to rub those runs out, and we can coat it. But I've got other trims I have to paint as well. So, but we'll get all of those in black and we'll call it a day. Right, so we've finished and cleaned up. So there's 2 coats of clear on the bonnet and the 2 front fenders and the grille. Just nothing on the bumper, obviously, because we haven't got there yet. So, a couple of little runs in the clear around where it cooled at the edge of the headlight recess, and a couple on the leading edge of the bonnet. I didn't allow for the temperature today. It was cooler than I thought, so I should have left a bit more of a flash time in between each coat, but it should colour sand and buff okay. So we'll leave it there tonight, and we'll come back in the morning and pop these out in the sun while I give the front bumper shell a sand to get it ready to put some colour on it. Alright, we'll see you in the morning, guys. Good morning. Day 3 working on rubbish bits for the BA Falcon. Um, I've got some of the panels hanging out in the sun outside there to try and see if we can get them to get a bit of heat in them, because they were really nice and shiny off the gun, and come in this morning and yeah, not really happy with the finish. I don't know whether the clear coat kit is maybe a bit old or what, but yeah, not really not really as nice as it looked last night when it was wet. So we're going to let them get some heat, let it cure fully, because they are still a little bit soft. Not wet, but they're just soft. Hello, Abel. Um, so yeah, so we're going to get some heat into them, let them finish curing, and then we'll have a look and see about giving them a wet rub, and whether a coat of clear over the top will make them come up nicer. And I've got the bumper there, and giving it a rub back. So I'll flip you around and we'll have a look at the bumper. So I've done the top half on the right hand side of the shell, and any of the little imperfections, little runs and that from where that plastic primer didn't fully go off before I put the sealer on are coming out nice. So it's just the fiddly little awkward bits in there that I've got to do, and then the entire half over this side and the bottom. So that won't take long. We'll get that all keyed back with 320. And out here in the sun, let's have a look and see if they've got any better. I doubt it. So they're shiny, but see if I can get the right angle there. It got a texture in it. It like it wrinkled up when it hardened off and dried out. So I'm hoping it's just in the clear coat and not in the colour. So if it's in the colour, we'll be doing a lot more sanding, but we'll see if we can get a wet rub on them with some 600 and 800 and see if we can re-clear them, and it might make it usable. All right, back to sanding. Okay, so we've got the bumper all prepped up, and we've re-prepped the grill for a bit of a touch-up on it. We're going to try something different. I found the gun I was looking for yesterday that I thought I'd lost, but that's the one that I used to use. So we'll see if it was in the gun, and I'll slow down between the coats. I was too busy rushing between the flash off times, being paranoid that they were going to exceed the recoat times that you're allowed. But with the colder weather and being a non-heated room, I reckon that was part of the problem as well, just rushing it. So we've got some black mixed up to go on the bumper and to touch up a few spots on the grill. We'll get that on there. Now, being a 1K, it should only need 2 coats max. That possibly was another issue I had yesterday, where I gave it, I think, 3 coats of colour. And I also gave it 2 hits of the sealer instead of what I used to do, which was only 1. Now, the sealer instructions do say that you can use 2, but I've only ever done the 1. So I'm starting to think maybe, possibly something to do with the fact that the cold weather just meant that it just didn't flash off in between. So, oh, can't hurt. We'll give it a shot and see how we go. Leave this over here. And I'll do a bit of cleanup. And we'll go into the booth and get it on and see how we go. Right, so we've got the first coat on the grill and the bumper, and we've done everything the same as yesterday, other than the fact that we switched up guns and went back to the pressure I'm used to spraying at, a little bit higher. It's around 32 psi, which the gun that I found operates between 30 and 40, I think it said on the book when we got it. Totally different finish. Don't really think it needs the clear on top. After 1 coat, it's laid down way smoother than the one yesterday and looks way shinier. So we'll pop you off here. and go for a wander through the room. And yeah, it's crazy. That other gun, I was never happy with it in the first place, but it always used to put paint on reasonable. But I think when I was doing the Fairlane, I got a strange feeling I used that as the primer gun, which is fine for that. It just doesn't seem to get, turn that off so we can hear, doesn't seem to get the paint on as smooth as this one. See if we can show it up in the camera. Like, that's the first light coat. And it looks better than when the clear went on the other one last night. Even the grill. And it's by no means a expensive gun. It's just, what brand is it? Scorpion from Autobahn, I think it was, or Auto One. Had it for years and then lost it. But it's the gun that I used to do Frank's Fairlane with the Pearl. And yeah, I'm glad I actually went and tried to find that thing, because that is what I was hoping to get yesterday. So if we look at that, and then we go outside and have a look at what the finish on the grill, and not the grill, the fender and the bonnet is. You can see the other gun puts it on with way too much texture. So it looks okay, but then if you get up close, where was it? There. You can see the image that reflects in it is all distorted. Definitely not clear. Not bad, but you would have to rub and buff and carry on. And up through there, it's all orange peely and hazy. And the fenders are even worse. It's where you nearly foam and put the thing on with a body shorts gun. So I'm assuming it wasn't the product and it was the gun / operator. You can see that's terrible, but it's got product on there. I can wet block it like I did the grill. It'll give us a nice smooth finish once I wet and dry them, and then we'll just put another light 2 coats, and it'll let me get things like a little bit of dirt that got into the paint there. I can get things like that out, and we'll give them a good hit. And they should be ready to put on the car as is with no buff. So give it a couple more minutes and I'll duck back in and put the second coat on, see if it needs a third. I don't think it will, and we'll go from there. Alright, I'd like to take the camera inside there, but I've only got my phone, so I don't need overspray all over it. Okay, so we're going to call it a day for there. I'll take you into the room and show you how that's laid out. Using the right gun, totally different effect. Same size nozzle, still a HVLP gun, just not the cheapest of the cheap cheesy junk from Super Cheap. It was actually a Scorpion brand one that Autobahn, Auto One, those kind of guys sell. So still a cheap gun, but just, yeah, atomizes the paint and lays it down way nicer. So it's all we changed. So yeah, when you have a look at what they look like off the gun, it's what I was hoping for in the first place. So we'll go down here and I'll turn the camera around. So you can already see straight off the gun, way better finish. Like you compare that to the hazy finish on the bonnet. You can see all the reflections are distorted and not clear. But this one just laid out really clean, clear, just nice. Even the grill, that got hit with, what did I use? 800 wet and dry this morning. And you could really see the imperfections in the paint when we did that. Now, way nicer. All we did was use a different gun. Still the same paint, still the same mix, still the same hardener. Very similar pressures, maybe up an extra 5 to 6 psi higher than the first gun, but I mean, you can just see how clean and crisp the reflection of that XA bonnet is in the background. And for black, it shows up the gold or the dark brown on that bonnet really nice. So leave them for the week, they'll be right to bolt on the car. These, on the other hand, I'll get in through the week if I feel like it and give them a hit with 800 wet and dry and get them ready for another hit of paint over the top, just to get the clarity into it. A little bit dusty. Neighbour was mowing them with the snipping today, so they were sitting outside to get a bit of heat into them, but that'll all blow off. But when you get down in here, you can just see how ripply that laid out off that other gun. Alright, I'll get this whole girl to bed and we'll finish cleaning up. So just want to say thank you for everyone coming back. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and yeah, hopefully once this BA is done we can get back onto Dylan's. This week, Wednesday, Thursday, I think, we got Kane coming out to retouch the pinstripes on Dylan's XK and get them ready so we can give it a wipe over and clear over the dash and clear over those pieces in the inset of the doors, and then we'll be able to get back into long blocking or long boarding and getting the doors and everything ready for high fill primer. And then it's just the front fenders and the front stone tray, so then we'll be long boarding the whole car and ready for colour. So thanks again, see you next time, bye.
To be